Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away, and today I'm going to be doing the next 6 stages of the Fanhome release to build the Spider-Man Iron Spider armor.
Swinging high above the streets at night, iron glints in moonsoft light, spider threads laced with steel, in his suit he feels ideal.
Look, I got myself a cap, which has come as one of the freebies today, obviously with the Marvel Studios logo on as well. It's a nice trucker's cap, this one, so I'm going to be wearing this while I do the build today. No idea what we do. We've got 6 stages, but we have been working on the torso section. If you do want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and you do have that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. I do like going into these builds blind. Stage 51, no idea what we're doing. So we're doing the torso. So we're still working on the torso. Lots of stuff here. Look, loads of little bits here that we're actually going to be creating together. It looks like we're encasing the control board. Did the control board come in this one? We got the control board here, look. So we're doing the electrics by the look of it. We're mounting the bracket by the look of it that we created in the last pack into that back torso section as well. And finally, we do get to put that bit on, which I think I might have already done already. But yeah, a lot going on in this pack. There you go. So now I know we're working on the torso. I'm going to bring up the 2 sections of the torso, and obviously this massive section here that we created in the last pack. I'll put that to one side, and let's open stage 51. And there is a whole heap of tiny things in here. But by the look of it, the heart of this build is going to be the central control board there, where everything's going to be plugging into. Put that to one side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this board, and you'll see on the board that we've got 2 ports either side here, but one of these has got 3 pins, one's got 2. The 3-pin one is going to go onto the number 2 of this socket here, just like that. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm holding this in from this side with some E screws. And what we need to do is put this onto this back plate here. So it fits on like that, and the E screws are going to go in here. That's going to hold that as one block. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do then is bring over this back plate. Now on this back plate, probably best on the top camera, you'll see that I've got a narrow section there. If I spin that round, I've got a big section. It's the narrow section that I want, because the number 2 here needs to be nearest to that section just there. It's going to be held in with 4 of the E screws. So I'll get all of these in. And then I want to bring over this section of the torso and turn this upside down. I'm going to want to put this into place on here, but I do want to make sure that these cables here are out the way. It's going to go on this way like that, just sitting over the top in that gap just there. And I'm holding them in once again with the E screws. And once again, there's 4 of these E screws to put in. We can put that to one side though. And I'm going to be taking this bracket here, and I do want it this way round, and I've got some little parts to put in here. And basically I've got these square nuts to put in first, which are going to go into the cavities down the bottom here, one this side, and your challenge here is to get them to sit flat. There we go, one in there. Probably best to use tweezers. The way I do it is, look, I pick the tweezers up like that, let them open up, drop it into position, and then just let it go. So they're both in there. I want to hold them into place by then putting this top on, which is going to keep those nuts from moving. And once again, an E screw to keep that into place. I'm bringing over this back section here now, and I want this arrow on here to be pointing up towards this section here. Now this is eventually going to be going on here, but as you can see, I've got space for some square nuts again. Okay, in this bag here, we've got some square nuts, but these are bigger. These are M4 square nuts. These are going to be going into the cavities that we can see there. And just like last time, I'm just going to drop these in here. One there. Whoops. And one there. Okay, I want one of these long K bolts now. And I'm going to be putting a washer just over the top here, like that. That is what's going to hold this into place from the underside. So I'm going to get one in here and start screwing that in. I'll make that tight in a second and do exactly the same on the other side. These are sort of split washers, lock washers, whatever you want to call them. Then I'll use my wow stick to make these nice and tight. Right, you remember I said we can't see this bit? That's because this actually detaches, which is pretty cool. What I need to do now is pass the wires that we've got here through the hole at the bottom. One there and one there. I forgot that was magnetic, I'll be honest with you. And let that come out through the other side. So one is number 9, one is number 10. Let's plug these into the board. And it's just match the numbers up. Number 9 in there. And number 10 just there. Now they want us to take off this area. Luckily, I didn't put it in, so I don't have to do that. That's pretty handy. What I am going to do though is now put this massive section here into place. So we've got 4 holes here, as you can see. These are going to be matching this section just in here, and it fits in absolutely lovely there. I want to use a serrated washer, which is one of these, and the smaller of these hex head bolts, and that's what's going to be holding it in from this side. So let's get these in here, and again I should be able to use my wow stick to put these into place. It's run out of battery, so I'm having to do it manually, but it does the job. So we've got 2 in here. This is a long stage, isn't it? And then I've just got 2 in these sections just here at the top. And get those nice and tight as well. So as you can see, this is going nowhere now. That's really held in tight. Now, I'm not going to need to access this area now, so I can actually put the plate over this. And if you remember, that's what that looks like there. It's just a case of clipping this in. Perfect. So that's in. This is going nowhere. Okay, so got a couple of hex nuts to put in again now, which look like this. These aren't square, these are normal shaped. So once again, I'm going to use that old technique just to make sure that these fit in flush. One here, and one just down the bottom here. That's good. Now we don't want them going anywhere. So we do have these covers to put over the top. They're going to go on like this. One here, one there, and one over here. And they're held in with different screws. So basically we've got a W screw here, which is going to be going down this one in the center. It's a flange screw. That's going to hold that in there. But the other 2 are just your normal E screws. Now you do want to be careful when you put these in, because some of these are different sizes. We don't want the big ones. We just want the smaller ones here. You'll know you've got the right sizes because the holes will match up. If they don't match up, you're using the wrong one, because there are 2 left over here. Let's just get this in, which is the larger of these, and this funny shaped one here. That's because if I put this to one side, we're going to be doing the same thing on this side just here. But this time I've got some square nuts to put in. One in there, that went in first time. One in here. Perfect. And I want this top, which has got the square bottom, to be going on this side there. And then the other one, exactly like what we've been doing, is going to go on here. And obviously the main job of this is to keep those nuts into place. Once again, they're held in with E screws. And there you go, that looks pretty cool. That is all there is to do in that stage. That was a lot to do in one stage here. We have been whizzing through this build, but that slowed me down in my tracks. Okay, so back to doing smaller belts now. So we've got back covers to go on. So we're going to be putting these together just like this, and then clipping these onto place. Here's the magazine. And here is stage 52. Now, obviously, these panels here are actually going to be clipping on with magnets. So what we've got here, we've got some M screws, and these are flat topped. What I'm going to be doing is putting these M screws into the screw holes just here, all the way down. And what that's going to do is going to make each part here magnetic. Well, not magnetic, it's going to be able to attract the magnets we've already put in. So I'm going to do this with every single one of these panels. And as you can probably see, these panels are labelled left and right. Now, if I just put the left ones over here, the right ones over here, we're actually working on the back section. So this is the left, this is the right. And I'm just going to be putting these into place. Now, they just clip in basically. So that one goes in there now. That one goes in there. This one goes there. And then finally, that one goes there. And there you go. They shouldn't fall out. Perfect. That's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, stage 53. Here is the magazine. And again, we've got some more panels, exactly the same technique here. We're going to be putting these screws in and then clipping these in to the front panel by the look of it. Is that right? Or where are we putting these? Yeah, into the front panel, I believe. There's the magazine. This build certainly is coming across quickly. Can't believe how quick we put that torso together. Okay, once again, I'm going to take these M screws and screw these into every single one of these panels. Okay, so basically the way this works is if you don't want to have the arms coming out, you just want a Spider-Man without those arms, you can do that by putting these panels on here. Now, if you want to take these panels out and have it so that he has got those legs coming out of his back, then that means that you can use these panels here, which are going to go in just like that. So it's your choice. That's very clever. I like how you can decide how you want your Spider-Man to look. So I'm just getting these into place like that. Now I am probably going to have the arms, so I'm going to keep these safe. But that is exactly what those are for. Okay, stage 54. Here is the magazine. Wow, lots of little bits again here. We're doing the torso and the head again. So we're adding the head. We're actually going to add the head to the torso. This is going to be a great section here. It looks like we're plugging something in as well. So that is now looking like this. Lots of electrics that we're actually putting into place here. It looks like we're putting all the electrics into place. Wow, there's a lot to do in this one. Okay, let's see how long this stage takes. So at the moment it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I can see this being a long stage. Okay, so do you remember this? We've got the head here with the lead 2 coming out of it. I'm going to actually mount this now. So bringing over this part, which has got the back on, I'm going to be mounting the head into this section. Now, at the moment, when I put this in, they do want the cable to be coming out of the side just there. So I'm going to be putting these over the points just here and here. And I want G screws to hold this into place. Now, these are flange screws. So, one there. And one this side here. And then turning this over, looking good. I want an E screw. You may need to sort of push the head to get this lined up. Just like that. Okay, let me just turn this over. Now this cable, we need to run to the circuit board. So it's going to be running, how do we do this? Through the hole that's on the underside here. And hopefully we can get this to come out of here. It should come out the other side there. Perfect. There you go. Now, funny enough, in the instructions, they don't have it coming out the bottom hole. There is a hole near the top here. So I'm going to put it out the one in the top, just like the instructions are, which is nearer to this port. Make sure I've got this in the right way and then plug that in. Perfect. So that's all connected. Okay, do you remember the shoulders? We're going to be putting those on now. And this is cable 5 on the left shoulder. It just wants me to unplug that, which I've done now. And it's going to be exactly the same thing that we've just done before. So what we're going to do is the cable 5 is going to come out of this area here, but it's going to go down this channel in the bottom here. So let's get that through, out the other side, through the hole which number 2 went through, and I'm going to plug that into port 5. And then the right hand side one, exactly the same thing. I'm going to be passing that through here. This is cable 8. Bring it out the bottom, through the hole there, and plug that into 8. Now in this stage we've got some cables here, and then this cable here which has got the long plug, and I want the male end is going to be cable 4. So yeah, it's the male end I've got here. Female end is going to go to the other side. So cable 4, that's going to be going through here, coming out the bottom, and that's going to go off in the same direction over this side, and I'll get this one plugged in. Now to help me out here so I don't get these trapped, I am going to just put some tape on these so I know which side these are going to. Now I'm going to be doing exactly the same with the lead on the other side here. Now once again I want the female end to be up here, so the male end's going to be going down here. This is for the right side. I will just put some tape on here so I know that's not going anywhere, and I'll plug this into port 12. So the other one here is cable 7. This is one of these 3-pronged ones again. This is actually going to go into port 7 here. And if you have a look on this side, that means now I've got cable 4 on this side, cable 7 on this side over here. Let's just keep all of them together. There you go. Now the last 2 cables I've got left are exactly the same, but one is 11 and one is 12. So these are just extension cables. So what I want to do is pass them through the hole here, through the top there on this side, and then do exactly the same on the other side, and then just make sure I plug these into 11 and 12. Now I just realised I've got mine coming out the top there. Sometimes they come out the bottom. I don't suppose it matters, to be honest with you. I'll put mine out the top. So we should have cables in 7, 8, 12, 10 on one side, 9, 11, 5 and 4 on the other side, and then just this cable 2 at the top there. Once we're happy with how they are in place, we are about to piece this together. So I am just going to do a dry fit before I take off the tape here, because I need to see where these cables are going to be coming out. So they're going to be coming out of here. Okay, I can see that just like this. I'll do the same on the other side. I'll take out the tape here. Perfect. I'm going to need these type H bolts, which I've got here, and I also need crimp washers. Make sure I'm not pinching any wires here, because this is actually going to be held in from this side. So I'm just lining everything up. That looks good. I want to put 2 screws into these holes here. Hopefully you can see this on the top camera. That's good. Do exactly the same on the other side. Again, making sure I haven't pinched any wires, which I haven't. That's good. Excellent. They're both in there. Okay, if I turn this over, you can see here I've got a space for 2 of the square nuts. And then once again I want to screw and a washer through the other side here to hold these in. This is definitely one of these stages where everything comes together. Okay, perfect. All that's left to do then on this side, you can see I've got space for 2 nuts here. Let's get those in. One there, one there. Exactly the same way we're going to hold that in from the other side with a screw and one of these crimped washers. All we're going to do then is just into these 2 here, if we've got these hex screws, the bolt's already in here, so it's just a case of putting these in and screwing these down. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to position the left shoulder housing into place. We want this to sit on top of the neck join there. Hopefully you can see that. Perfect. Now I'm holding that in with an E-screw just through the front here. You really do have to push that quite hard in there to get that to fit nice and flush. Grab another E-screw and then turn this over, and it's held in from this other side here as well. And again, push quite hard in there to get that to line the holes up, to get that E-screw in there. Perfect. And then what I've done on one side, I'm going to do on the other side. So again, this is going to fit in just like that, and then it's going to be held in with E-screws from each side. You know, this one's only held in with 1 of the screws, not 2, because obviously we don't have this extra bit here. We do have a panel to put behind the back though, which looks like this. Just going to make sure that's fitting in perfect onto that section. And again, E-screws to hold this in on each side. We need 2 of these. Very clever how this is going together. Okay. And then I've got these little parts here. This is the left side, which is actually just going to be pushing into this side here. Make sure that's clipped in. Perfect. And do the same on the right side. God, that took some clipping in, that one did, but there you go, that one's in there. I took this off to help me do that. Let me put this back in. There you go. Looking really good on the back now. Now, I've got the left bit of trim here, which is going to go into place, which fits on just like that. Held in with G screws this time. These are those flange screws. And then we do exactly the same on the other side. Perfect. Now, I'm just going to hide the battery box now to make sure everything goes in, because it is held in with magnets. But that is looking pretty amazing how far we've come. And this is now, I don't know, let's have a look at the time, because my clock behind me is wrong. It's actually 20 to 10. Oops. So that took 40 minutes. So that's the end of the stage, but we do have these 2 LEDs left over. So what an epic stage that was. Stage 55. Lots of little trim pieces here. Again, we're going to be adding these onto the body. So that's looking like that. Rest of the magazine. And I've just had a quick glimpse at stage 56. There doesn't seem to be much in there. So I'm guessing we've had the hard stage for this build. Okay, first thing I need is this left bit of trim just here. We're going to be starting to put this on the body. Let me take this back off again. So the way this is going to go, probably best on top camera, is actually going to follow the curve here. So this is going to be going on like that there. It's held in with an E-screw. Now, because I'm right-handed, I've had to turn it round. So that goes in there. And what we've done on one side, we do on the other side. Although the right-handed side one looks slightly different, but that's going to go in exactly the same way like this, but held in with an E-screw just through the hole there. We'll go back to the left-handed side one again. And I want the 2 pieces here, which are labelled with L's. So one's just going to slot into the point just there. And then this is going to be going over the top of it like that. It's held in again with 2 E-screws each side. The other E-screw is right over here. And once again, what we've done on one side, we're going to do on the other side. So this is going to be going into the position just there, with this going over the top, just like that. And again, E-screws to hold that in. One through the bottom here. And then we've got some trim panels to put over this. Now, obviously, this is the right side. So we're going to be putting the right side bit of trim on here, and it just pushes in, clips in just like that. Turn it over. Do exactly the same on the left side. Clips in like that. And with those in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this marathon pack, looking like this, we've got some large trim panels here. We're going to be putting magnets on them by the look of it, and then we're going to be clipping this into place. So it should be a quick stage, but it is going to mean that it's going to look pretty much complete, the head and torso section. So first thing I want to do is I want to take this panel, and I want to take the one that says R, because obviously that's what we're working from at the moment, and get this into place. This is going to be going into position here, and it's held in with E-screws. These magnets want to clip to everything. So this is a case, once again, of what we do on one side, we are going to do on the other side. So I may as well just break from the instructions and do that now, and take the left side and do exactly the same thing, and put 2 E-screws in here. Okay, I want to open these eye screws. It's going to be a bit of a challenge because we're working with magnets now. These are flat-headed screws. And if I work on the left side, take one of the magnets, and with the indented side, I want to put a screw through this, which is going to be hard enough because the magnet's going to try and want to bite that. And I want to put these onto the 2 posts down the bottom here. So let's get them in. One here, and one this side. Then I want to put one of these lenses in, making sure I got it in the right way so it's fitting flush in there. That doesn't look right. Let me just turn it around. Nope, let's try the other one. They are labelled actually. So we want this one. It's got an L on it for left, and it's the left side we're working on. And then do you remember those circuit boards that we had left over? I'm going to be taking one of them now, and I'm going to be putting this over the top just like this. So the plug part is pointing towards the middle. Now I'm holding these in place with O screws, and I'm going to need 2 of these. Don't do these too tight, because you are going to need to move it round just like that. Okay, do exactly the same with this one. All that's left to do then is on this side here, in the 2 holes you can see here, I'm going to be putting some more magnets and screw them in. So one there and one there. Now this is the right hand side I'm working on at the moment. We're not doing the shoulder sections, but I can plug this port here into the LED. So I'm just going to make sure I've got this around the right way. That's plugged in there, and then that should clip in just like that. Do exactly the same on the other side. So I'll put that bit in. I'm going to be putting this bit in as well. Perfect. And that is all there is to do. Oh, let me just clip that in there. That's perfect. That's all there is to do in that pack. Wow. I think we're at the point of this build where this can't stay in a storage box. This is looking absolutely epic. It's easy to get to the panel here with the magnets. So obviously we just got to put the arms and legs on, and obviously the big spider things which are going on the back there. But I do like the fact that you can have this without the arms on the back if you wanted to. Getting quite heavy as well. Looking really good. I'm proud of that. Let me just gently put that down. If you like what you see and you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, but I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.